Okay, one of my favorite scriptures that I became very fond of during the time in my life when I was learning how to rock climb, which was back in the 70s, is in the book of Psalms. It says, "Lead me to the rock that is higher than I." And I love that passage because one of the metaphors in the Old Testament is that God is our rock. He is our foundation. He's our chief cornerstone. And I just want to begin this rock climbing lesson and a series of rock climbing life lessons from the rock, or what I like to call the adventures of risky faith and rock climbing. So last time I talked about the rope, a little bit about the rope, about climbing, having to grab onto things that your brain is telling you that is not going to hold me. That's not even a handhold. That's just a piece of tiny little nub here sticking off, hanging off the rock. But I want to talk to you about another concept when we talk about adventure, a life of meaningful adventure where you're fulfilling your destiny. And it has to do with risk. We use the phrase a lot of times, risky faith. Exercising faith is a risky business. That's actually a line from my second novel, Sword of Deliverance. Little punch there. So risky faith. How can we live a life of risky faith and also have a value of what some people would call safety? Because when you're rock climbing, one of the core values of rock climbing is being safe, which sounds like a contradiction because in reality what we're doing is very risky. So can we bring together the idea of safety with the idea of risky? Yes, we can. And the way we do that in rock climbing is we have a thing called anchors. Anchors can be done with different things, but this is called a chalk or a hex. And what we do here is the way we anchor ourselves into the rock, one of the ways that we do that is we will find a place where this will fit into a crack and it will hold you as you pull down. As you pull down on it, it creates a safety line for you. Now, that's not the best seating for a chalk, but you get the idea. If you could get that farther back in there and you can pull on it, it's going to seat right into that rock. And that's one of the things that catches you as you climb. If you fall, the rope goes through here, and then it catches you when you fall down the rock. Again, nobody wants to talk about falling, but part of the adventure is falling. And the safety aspect of anchors and the way you tie in tells us that it's possible to live a life of risk and yet be safe at the same time. God is our rock. He is who keeps us safe. When He calls us to adventure, He's the one we depend on. He's the anchor that we depend on. And then we go for it. We make those commitment moves.